On a daily basis, our colleagues have to prioritize now because they have to ration the very limited fuel that they still have. Over the last few days, they had to decrease significantly the amount of fuel they provided to hospital, to bakery, to the water station. But in the coming days, if no more fuel is being made available to our colleagues, they will have to take even tougher decision. And I have also warned that we are very close to almost a cessation of our operation because fuel is even needed for us to be able to move the trucks, to bring it in the warehouse, to distribute to the people being scattered in shelters.
So what would the consequences be of a cessation of your operations in Gaza?
It would first of all create chaos, confusion. People would like certainly to struggle amongst themselves for the last remaining commodities available in the street. And basically it would also mean that the siege imposed on Gaza would also have a trickle effect and would also become the cause of additional more people dying in the street.
If the water is not fresh, if the water is not clean, what are the consequences of serious outbreaks of disease?
I think we are on the brink of a serious outbreak of disease. It's not just a question of the water, but now we have also the sewage water in the street. People have also seen their immunity being weakened. People start to be hungry. Also, the winter is also here. The rainy season is about also to arrive, and we have tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people in the street. This disaster will become a real nightmare and a total catastrophe.
Where is the problem on the oil? Is it that Hamas is stockpiling the oil, do you know? Or is it that Israel is not allowing the oil that we think is there to come through? Where is the problem?
Well, I don't think there is any stockpiling because that would require a supply chain. I'm not aware of any supply into Gaza nowadays. As I mentioned, there have been some fuel available in the Gaza Strip. One part of the fuel came through the agreement between Qatar and Israel from Egypt. These are depots which are at the border with Egypt. And it is said that there is still some fuel. I heard between 300,000 to 500,000 liters. If that is the case, we will ask to have access to this depot. To have access, we need a deconfliction with the Israelis. There is no convoy who can reach the depot and come back under war without such a deconfliction.
So you need, in simple terms, a pause in the airstrikes to get that oil if you are able to get it.
We need a pause, but we need also the authorization to do this. That's number one. But number two, there is no much fuel available there. We are talking about 1 or 2 more days. As humanitarian organization and as UNRWA, we need at least 160,000 liters of fuel to provide it to the hospital, to our partner, to the bakery, to the water station. And I'm also hearing now that the last remaining public services in the south, municipal services, are also collapsing, which means that more fuel will also be required from the humanitarian. So the answer, with the fuel available in this depot, this will not give more than 1, 2 or 3 days of respite to the operation. Nothing will substitute the fact that we need fuel to enter into Gaza.
Is this a case of collective punishment being operated by Israel with the blockade and what is happening with the fuel? Is this a contravention of humanitarian law?
Listen, it amounts to collective punishment because it is implemented in an indiscriminate way and is applied for everyone in the Gaza Strip. So the siege is a collective punishment, like the instruction which has been given to more than 1 million people to go to the south could also amount obviously we will know later on what the intent was, could also amount to collective punishment. And collective punishment is indeed a breach of international humanitarian law.
Israel says Hamas is in control in Gaza. They are responsible for the humanitarian situation. They are responsible for the oil getting to where it's needed. Do you agree with that, or what is your view? Is it Israel or is it Hamas, or is that a false choice?
Listen, before October 7, Gaza was already described as being under blockade. But at the time, we had more or less 500 trucks entering every day. And this has led the Gaza Strait to become completely dependent of international humanitarian assistance. Before the blockade in 2005, we supported 80,000 people. 15 years later of blockade, we had to provide food to more than 1.2 million people. So basically, imposing a siege is preventing any assistance to enter into Gaza and preventing any person in need to have access to humanitarian assistance.
And finally, if there is a significant ground invasion, what do you think will be the consequences of that in the coming weeks?
Today we talk already about 7,500 people having been killed. The number will be staggering. There will be more suffering. There will be more displacement and more people killed. But beyond that, more people in Gaza will feel completely abandoned by the international community, will feel that the world is turning its back, will feel that the world has selective compassion and empathy. And I do believe that this can only further deepen the current polarization, and that would also mean it will take years, if not generations, to heal. And this is certainly not the best recipe for future peace in the region.